Welcome to the Visceral Collection channel. Today I have for you a custom quarter scale Carnage statue. So this piece was just released a few weeks ago and I wasn't lucky enough to get a pre-order in before they sold out, but I was lucky enough to find someone reselling a reasonable distance away from where I live. I only had to drive about 2 hours away to make a local deal. And I have to say I'm super excited. I wanted this thing since I first laid eyes on it, and I already have a spot where I'm going to be placing it and another statue to pair it off with. As you may know, Carnage is a Spider-Man villain, and I actually already have a Carnage statue you can see here. I had another one that was down here, but it was the Sideshow Carnage and I wasn't the biggest fan. The concept and everything was pretty cool, but I had some broken fingers and I didn't really like the shade of red that they used on him. It would have been cool to keep the statue and get it maybe custom painted, but it isn't really an expensive or big enough statue for me to want to custom paint or to get custom painted. Another reason that I'm very excited to open up this statue is I just joined the group that produced the statue. And I've seen the quality in the pictures, but I haven't seen any of their statues in person, and I'm very excited to see what we have in store, as well as the statue has 5 heads, all of which I think are very well done, and I'll take my time with each one, showing detail and all that. Okay, so here's the art box. Really cool that they decided to design an art box for the statue when they really didn't have to. Most custom pieces don't really come with an art box, and it's kind of expected for it not to have one, and this is a really amazing one. It kind of shows the other heads that the statue comes with, kind of teases it in the red there. Alright, so stand this up so I can get it open. Back down. So I got this off of someone that contacted me on my WTB Want to Buy listing for the statue. I posted that I wanted to buy it. And this guy contacted me and said they had it. Really cool guy. We stood there talking for like maybe like an hour and a half. Felt bad because my little brother was in the car, but he was nice enough to go with me so he can help me out. Really nice guy I met out there that sold me the statue. He actually insisted that I check every piece and everything, make sure it's all there. It looked like it had not been opened ever, but he didn't really answer me when I asked him that, and it looks like flawless, and it looked flawless when I checked out. Yeah, I'll definitely be linking up with that dude to talk about statue stuff and invite him to some groups that he's not a part of, and he was actually inviting me to some groups as well. Yeah, we were just talking about like the crazy addictive personality that statue collectors have, where you just can't stop pre-ordering stuff. And honestly, I'm getting to the point where once I get all my pre-orders, I'm going to have to get rid of a couple pieces because I'm going to have to expand the space here a little bit to fit everything. Right now it's pretty empty, but once I receive all the pre-orders I have, it's going to be, well, you know. And luckily this piece doesn't take up a lot of space. It's more tall vertically than, you know, it is wide or it has depth. But let's get into it. So here it looks like the tentacles. Wow, this looks amazing. Beautiful paint and sculpt. The sculpt looks raunchy. Kind of reminds me of like some Spawn artwork. if Todd McFarlane drew Carnage or something. Pretty cool.
Have to skip on to the next layer because I need the body and the base first, and the X, I knew I was going to be using that, so that's why I pulled that out, and it looked like that was the only arm in that layer. So
awesome. This is where everything is. This is the base, his body, arms. I didn't notice that his front arm doesn't move, which is pretty cool, because that means there's no seam on the arm that's closest to you. There's a switch out arm, back arm. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4 heads. Here's the top of the side for the Reaper base, and this is the 5th exclusive head. It's packed a little bit loosely. He explained to me he couldn't fit it there in the socket that it came with, but I'll bust all this, well, not all this stuff out, but I'll bust out some of the cooler stuff so you can see what it looks like before I get it all set up here.
So here, I'll take out the base first. Gotta be real careful with all this stuff because it seems to be really delicate. This is a really good sculpt.
There are some finer details that are, you know, thinner. Like it looks like the base has its hand out as well, so it has fingers. You see and it has wings. It has a lot of cool details in the wings. I could already see some pegs in the back here. Number 48 out of 80. Super cool. It's not very heavy.
This looks super cool in here. I put on a little spinny base, blam blam. You see like those broken parts of the stone there. Looks to have broken from up here where Carnage climbed on. Pretty cool. Super cool, actually. Let's see. Super awesome. I wonder if this is gonna be like, if this is actually a teaser for the Carnage USA that they're doing. If the like the position of him. I don't know, but it looks it looks super cool. I'm really glad I got it. It's not very big, but it's amazing. Like the sculpt is on fire.
So the next piece I'm gonna have to take out here is Carnage's body, which is super cool. I mean, like his feet have pointy toes, his hands have pointy fingers. He's in a pretty cool position, like he's crawling. He's in a crawling position. The other Carnage I have is very dynamic as well. Maybe a little bit more dynamic than this, but I'm not complaining. This thing is amazing. It really captures the evil side of Carnage. The other statue I have really captures like the comic, accurate, like insaneness of Carnage. This is a really nice sculpt. I like it a lot. I kind of am iffy about the paint there on the toes and the fingers. It looks kind of like the black is kind of like not very strong, like fading or something. Not like it's not intentional. I'm sure that's intentional. But I don't know. I mean, it's something different, so I guess we'll see when it's all together what kind of effect that gives off. Maybe it's a more alive vibe going.
I'm actually going to take him for a second and put his body next to this other Carnage, kind of compare the reds. This does look to be like a little bit more of a blood red, a little bit more glossy. This one's a little bit more flat on the in between. Very, very cool. Super cool. I mean, they're both amazing.
is gonna peg in it like an extremely specific way. Oh shit, okay. I broke off the tip of one of his toes. He did say be very, very careful. Alright, yeah, his toes actually go into the back of the base, so I'm gonna have to repair that. I've actually never had a break before ever. This is the first one, but here you go. I'm not gonna be taking that off anytime soon. Here is the piece so I don't lose it. Let me show. The piece there. The back of these back toes actually sink into the base there. Wow, that's too bad. Spent a lot of money on this, but I could have been a little bit more careful. So here I placed the axe arm. It fits in there mostly with like the force of gravity. It doesn't seem like there's like a magnet in there, but I didn't really look. I just put it in there. Really cool position. So I already broke a little piece of it, and there's like a billion tentacle holes back there, so I'm just gonna go ahead and show all the head switch outs before I even begin to start trying to complete this. Kind of bummed I broke a little piece off of it, but I mean, next time I'll just be a little bit more careful with these things. Very cool. This head reminds me of the Lickers from Resident Evil. This is the Ultimate Carnage head. Or I'm sure it's just like it's a certain comic book artist's interpretation head. I think it's Clayton Crane head. I actually like this Clayton Crane head a lot. Like, it's very, very cool. It's well done. It looks very alien. That looks awesome. Looks amazing. Check that out. Very cool. I love the drool effect. Sides of his mouth. The next head feels that it's going to be the tongue head. Yeah. This is the, I think this is the ATF head. So this is probably the most detailed head out of all of them. It basically just looks like Venom. Just a Venom head. It basically just looks like a Venom head with Carnage colors. Looks amazing. The tongue is really cool. The detail is amazing. It's top notch work. I actually do like the effect in the eyeballs. So here's this head going in. Wow, that is freaking amazing. I do not regret buying this statue at all, even though I broke it a little bit. It's definitely an amazing interpretation of the character. If they just came out the same sculpt, but in black, you know, all black, this portrait would basically be Venom, but super awesome. It would be cool. This is an amazing piece. I would love to get another piece and repaint it if I possibly could, but the difficulty in getting these pieces in was pretty crazy. I thought I was being careful enough, but I guess I should have been like watching the toes a little bit more. Awesome head. I don't know if I'm going to display this one. I'm going to have to see how the other three stack up. Next head. I think I might end up displaying this. This is like the realistic, I guess, the realistic Carnage head. Awesome. Or you could say, I guess you could say Todd McFarlane, or I guess Eric Larson. They all kind of did. A lot of people did this take on Carnage. This is done a little bit better than the Sideshow premium format. I really like the deep reds, the deep blacks. I like the effect on the eyes a lot. It's like a dirty, it's not white. It's not exactly white, it's kind of like an off, more like a web color. Yeah, more like a webbing color. Here's a better little close-up of this one. Looks amazing. Here's this head. Oh my gosh, this head is amazing. This might be the one. Yeah, this is freaking sick. Gives off that, definitely gives off that psycho vibe. I like that he has a little bit more of the black on his face than he does on the rest of his body. I don't know if I'm digging too much the faded black on the blade, the toes, and the fingers, but the overall like paint on this is pretty freaking amazing. I mean, you don't really have to do too much with a character like this, but it's great. Then the neck seam, for having 5 heads, the neck seam is not bad at all. Given that this is a character, I mean, you wouldn't really have too many problems with the neck seam, I wouldn't imagine. We've still got 2 more heads. If I'm not mistaken, this is the transformation portrait. I'm pretty sure the guy I got this from never even opened this up, because the way that this is packaged is way too clean, like ridiculously clean. Almost like he just opened, like slightly maybe opened it up just to look, see if the piece was there for the damage. Amazing, and I don't blame him, and I'm not mad at him. The paint on the skin is amazing. There's veins in the eyes. Kind of looks like he's wearing some mascara there, but I mean, the eyebrows look amazing. Wow, awesome. I'll continue this in a better close-up. And here's the close-up of that head, the transformation portrait. I think it looks pretty great. I don't understand why the hair looks blonde in every single picture and video I've ever seen. Maybe those guys got a variant or something. Yeah. Super cool, custom statue. Supposedly there's only 80 of these. And I feel very lucky to have got it, even though I broke it. So here's the transformation portrait. It really does look crazy. I mean, his human head, it does look like it's nearly like chopped in half, floating over the symbiote. The hair does look orange. I don't understand why in all the photos I've seen it looked blonde. I didn't like that at all, actually. This is my least favorite portrait because of that. Now his hair is orange, and as you may know, Cletus Cassidy is a redhead in the comic books. So this is true to the origin, and it's pretty cool to have 2 Cletus Cassidy portraits in the collection. I think he's a really cool character. Looks insane. I may not display this, but I will be cycling the heads through, through the years, or through, the months. Very cool. Very impressed. And this last head is one of the main things that attracted me to getting this statue. I had never seen this head before. I think they said it's a Null, a Null era portrait, but it's like a devil horn Carnage with no eyes and a grin, like a huge grimace, huge grin on his face. Really creepy vibe, and I think there's a switch out. I don't know, I'm not sure if the tentacle is switch out, but there's a tentacle that looks kind of like a tail. I like how the symbiote is like splashing behind his head. I'm not exactly sure why they did that or if that's how he looks in the comics, but now it made me want to read up on the newer books and, you know, see what this is all about and see if there maybe is a null era Venom that looks different, because this is pretty cool. This is the 5th and last head, and this is the you know, the most exclusive one, I guess, that I was hoping to get. No other statue company has made any head like this so far.
So here's a close-up of the final and most anticipated portrait of the bunch for me. I think this is the null era Carnage, as they say. If not, I mean, they said there was the ATF exclusive null. I haven't been really catching up on the latest comic books. I've actually been more concentrated in statues lately and older comic books. But very, very happy with this purchase. I really wish I didn't damage it, but I mean, it's my problem and I'll be able to fix it. It won't even hardly be noticeable. Awesome. Okay, so I wasn't planning on displaying this head, but now seeing it on the body, this might be the head that I go with. There kind of is a seam in it, but oh, there you go. There you go. Never mind. Take it back. This thing looks freaking amazing. It hides the seam very well. Maybe that's what they were doing with the symbiote slime around his, maybe it's like a jester type collar going on, but it looks amazing. And I'm sure with the tentacles going around, it's only gonna look even more amazing.
I might want to move Carnage next to Raziel for a minute, because he does look very similar in base and like sort of concept. You know, they're kind of not on the ground, on top of a stone structure, looking super cool. So there's the scythe in hand. Looks pretty cool. I like his texture and everything. Now I've only got one last tentacle to put in. It wasn't too crazy to figure out where they went. Which is crazy. I mean, it's kind of wild that I that I damaged the statue on something that wasn't so intricate, I guess. Bam, there it is. There's all the tentacles. And let's see if I can get this head back on now that I'm gonna use. I'm not gonna fuck around with the heads too much. I already moved basically every single head on there. Alright. Seems to be pretty good, even though it's leaning up against one of those pegs. Wow, fucking amazing. Check that out. Wow, that looks great. So that's it. Statue's completed. I think I got number 48 it was out of 80. Super happy. I have 2 pieces on order with this company right now, and I think I'm going to be very, very happy with my pre-orders, because the quality on this is amazing. You can see they go above and beyond with the design as well as what they give you with pre-order. I mean, this thing came with 5 heads. It came with 5 heads, and if you had bought the piece that came out before this, which was a Venom and Spider-Man, the diorama, you also would have got an exclusive transformation Venom portrait, which is very similar to this one here. It's like half the head, but the top half is human, and the bottom half, the mouth, is symbiote. And
you also would have got a stand for your heads, which is cool, and I was hoping that eventually we'd get a stand for these heads as well, the Carnage heads, but I don't know if the producer is planning on doing that as well, but that would be amazing. Overall, with the sculpt and design and everything, I'm so super happy. Everything looks amazing. Yeah, the way that the feet sit in there on the statue isn't exactly perfect, and there is a seam, but I mean, for what it is, it's amazing, and I should have been a little bit more careful to not have broken one of the toes off, and it's in the front of the statue. But I mean, there's so much going on here, you kind of can't even really tell. So here I'm going to keep this piece on here so I don't forget to super glue or whatever I will. I might just glue it back and just put a tiny little bit of black, mix it in with the super glue, and it'll meld in there a little bit more than the clear glossy type liquid. Super happy, and I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. I'll be back next week with another video. Peace.